Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you a little bit about the large selection of edibles that we have here. We have a lot of seasonal herbs and vegetables all over the place. Starting here, we have okra. This is a traditional southern staple. If you've never grown okra, it almost grows on its own. It likes plenty of sunshine and to be fed regularly. So all of these vegetables, one of the keys to the success of growing homegrown herbs and vegetables is two things. One, make sure they have plenty of sun, at least 4 to 6 hours a day. Make sure they have really good soil. These herbs and veggies do not like growing in our sandy, crappy soil that we have here in Northeast Florida. You need some really dark, rich soil to grow them in. My favorite and what's worked best for me is the Fox Farm Happy Frog soil. Every herb and vegetable that I've grown there really loves that soil, and it's the perfect blend for growing just about any edible. We have an ocean of tomatoes here. There is a tomato for everybody, unless you're one of those strange people who does not like tomatoes. There are some out there, I know, but I have a large selection of tomatoes. I have a handful of some sweet corn right here. If you do grow sweet corn though, you're gonna need that whole tray. You just try and grow one, it's probably not gonna work so well. You need to have a pretty good amount of corn for them to help pollinate each other. So, also we have peppers galore. Several different pepper varieties. We have sweet peppers, we have spicy peppers, we have medium peppers, we have all kinds of different peppers. We actually have some very cute baby watermelons. Look at these things. They're not going to be this small for long. Once these guys get in the ground, they take off. If you've never grown your own watermelon, I will say it is one of the most rewarding things you can grow in the garden. They're absolutely delicious, fresh, very good. After you've put them in the refrigerator for several hours, because when they're cold in the summertime, when they're ripe, absolutely delicious. More tomatoes. We got tomatoes flowering. We have eggplant flowering. Check this out. Very cool. Actually, this flower here, let me pull this bad boy out. Who are you attached to? This guy. Look at that. It's kind of like a flying dragon. Look at that. It's pretty sweet. Who else do we got here behind you? Then behind the cameraman, we have different herbs. We have different types of mint. Mint is another one that's generally really easy to grow. It's like a vining ground cover. Just keep them snipped. If you want to keep them contained, you can grow them in containers or in raised beds. But again, the dark, rich soil is crucial. Mint lean a little bit on the moist side, which is different than most other herbs. Most other herbs really need to dry out between waterings. But here in Northeast Florida, the herbs of the mint varieties are going to want it to be a little bit more moist than not, so keep that in mind. We have some sage, we have thyme, we have all kinds of thyme here at Earthworks. It smells so good, I wish you guys can smell it. Maybe if I get my fingers right up to the camera. We have some basil, finally. Now basil's a tricky one. If you've ever grown basil, you probably know this is one of the trickiest herbs to grow. I will grow basil where you get plenty of sunshine, but also underneath an overhang or a roof, so that way you can control the moisture. Once we get into the summer season where we're getting afternoon thunderstorms every day and they don't dry out between those rainfalls, they're going to start rotting at the roots, they're going to start getting fungal spots on the leaves, and they're going to start dropping. So protect them from the rain with an overhang or a roof, but keep in a sunny position and they're going to do the best. Also, you have to use your herbs. Herbs that are trimmed and clipped and used, eaten, are going to branch, they're going to be thicker, they're going to be fuller, they're going to be much happier. You also need to keep them from going to flowering. You need to trim those flowers off. You start seeing the flowers emerging on your basil, cut those off to keep it from doing what it wants to do, which is to make seeds, and then once it makes seeds, the plant's pretty much done its job and it's going to start to fade. So keep it trimmed. Now, if you have excess of herbs, what do? Make pesto. You can make pesto with any herb. Just look it up online. Google that, Bing that, whatever you want to use. Look on your favorite search engine, but there are a million ways to make pesto. Once you make your pesto, then you can put it in ice cube trays, put it in the freezer, freeze it, put it in a Ziploc bag, pull them out in single servings. All right, it's very easy, and that way you can preserve your herbs throughout the year. Now over here we have some fennel and some dill. Fennel and dill are great for us to eat, but for all of you butterfly enthusiasts, these are fodder for the swallowtail butterfly caterpillars. These are great in the garden. not only for us, but the caterpillars from the different swallowtail varieties that live here will gobble up the leaves, which is a good thing if you're growing it in the butterfly garden. But if you're growing it in your own garden, you might notice that you have little caterpillars on it. Well, they're going to turn into beautiful butterflies one day, so you all have to decide what you want to do with those caterpillars. However, if you are a butterfly enthusiast, go ahead and just plant this right in your butterfly garden, and the swallowtails will eventually find them. You see the big swallowtails hovering around. They're going to be lighting on the leaves and depositing their eggs for their young to feed on. So as you can see, we have a great selection. Come in and see us at Earthworks for all your veggies and all your herbs.